Good evening, everyone, and we're so glad to have you back with us. We have a fantastic show for you this evening, and this show is going to be all about transportation. And whether it's sessions 1, 2, or 3 and 4, it's going to be covering transportation. And I know in some areas you're going to want to know more, and you're going to want to call in and find out additional information. So we're going to be showing you some phone numbers, and we'll be showing you contacts so you can find out all the information that you need to know. I have two wonderful guests for the first two sessions. And the first guest is Sally Kerr, and I'm going to let Sally introduce herself and tell you more about her. And we also have Eric Whalen. And Eric is also, both these people are very vital to the transportation concept in the Pahrump Valley. We also have Albert Bass. Albert couldn't be with us, and we couldn't fit 3 people here anyway, so it's perfect that he's away. Albert, if you're watching, hey, we still need you. Don't go anywhere. But today we have Sally and Eric on. They're going to tell you about themselves and how they contact or how they connect with exactly what's happening as far as transportation goes. So I'm going to start with Sally. Sally, tell us something about yourself and how you got involved in all of this.
Well, I'm Sally Kerr.
Oh, hey, by the way, welcome to the show, and you too, Eric.
Thank you so much for having us. I am the Executive Director of Nevada Outreach. So
Okay.
We encompass several programs over there. The Family Resource Center and No to Abuse are the ones the public primarily knows about.
I got you. Okay.
And I am also the Transportation Committee Chairperson. So I've been involved directly with that committee for, probably 4 years or 5 years. They start to add up.
Okay.
And have been helping with trying to get transportation literally rolling on the ground here in Pahrump and Nye County.
Well, I have to ask before we let Eric speak, how long has the Transportation Committee been working to try to get transportation in Pahrump?
Even previous to me, there were many years. So it's
Okay.
about a decade or a little longer that the Transportation Committee has been meeting and trying to just educate the public on the need and try to get literally the wheels on the ground of a transportation meeting here. So it's been a long time coming. There have been many people previous to any of us even sitting in these chairs trying to get transportation for our citizens.
I'm going to say this. Now, I've been here, it will be 10 years next month. Mm-hmm. And I was on the Transportation Committee as soon as I got here. And so they were working on it. And I was told that 15 years before that, people were working on trying to get transportation in Pahrump. Yeah. But because Sally came and Albert and Eric, now all of a sudden we have it. So I guess you guys get all the credit.
No, we don't, or at least we don't want all the credit. Yeah, I mean, it really is the building blocks that went before us.
Okay.
Are primarily the reason that things line up, and it happens that we were here when things line up. But without those building blocks, it wouldn't have happened.
That's fantastic. Okay. Eric, you want to tell us something about you and how you got involved in all of this?
Oh, I started out as a volunteer at the Pahrump Senior Center and gradually worked up the ladder to become a driver, and then eventually the transportation supervisor, and now the transportation director for the Pahrump Senior Center and the Pahrump Valley Public Transportation System.
Now, when we talk about the Pahrump Valley Public Transportation, what does that really encompass?
Just every transportation need for everybody in this community. I mean, just plain and simple in a nutshell.
Okay, who wants to tell how it works?
It's just a simple process of making a phone call to my office, 775-751-6860.
Why don't you repeat that, and please write these numbers down, because if you need transportation, this is the way to get it.
Yeah, the number's on your screen there. You can see 775-751-6860. We are requiring a 48-hour notice for local runs. We used to be 24-hour, but due to the increased demand, we now require 48-hour. I mean, the service is really starting out awesome. And for Las Vegas runs, we need 5-day notice for transportation. All you got to do is make a phone call, reserve your spot, and you're put on the books.
Okay, and where do they go to catch the bus?
It's curb-to-curb service. We come right to your house and pick you up.
Oh, fantastic. That makes it easy.
Yes.
You come to their house, pick them up, and when they come back, you'd also take them back to their house?
Yeah. They can either call the office, and my dispatcher will call and get a bus back to get them back home, Or also my drivers give them cards that has their direct phone number on every single card,
Okay.
so they can just contact the driver directly and say, hey, I'm ready, and they get their ride back home.
And I know everybody is looking at cost. How much does it cost for all of this curb-to-curb service?
$3 per trip. So if you need a round trip anywhere in town, it is a whopping $6.
Oh, you can't beat that. You know, prior to having buses, people were doing all kinds of strange things, like walking.
Yes.
Walking or riding scooters, and you know, you name it. I've seen people walking down 372 and even 160 carrying big grocery bags, and now they don't have to do that anymore.
Right. I would want to, though, add that the curb-to-curb service does not include going into the home to pick someone up. So
Okay.
they do need to be curbside ready to be picked up, and we ask that they be ready for the driver. So, because as Derek says, we have to dispatch carefully, and we need to, you know, have people ready if you're set up for 10:30, or, you know, just be considerate of time, and that the drivers can't go into a home to get someone.
Okay, so they're given a time when they call,
Yes.
Yeah.
and then they
Yes.
should be in front of their home, ready to be picked up at
Yes.
that time.
You know, I don't expect to be standing out in the sun, but on their porch ready
Okay.
to walk out to the bus. We do have a 5-minute limit to wait for a client, because, you know, this client might be going to the grocery store, the next one might be going to a medical appointment.
That's
And to
true.
be able to keep that flowing, we
Okay.
can't sit there and wait 15 minutes for one person aboard.
Okay. So I
we
guess
do ask that.
everybody needs, that's common courtesy.
Yes.
If they give you a time, you need to be ready at that time. Okay. Is there anything else that we need to look at?
I guess the biggest problem that we're encountering right now is just due to the success of the program, we can't accommodate everybody as well as we would like to. And a lot of the people are saying, well, why don't you just hire more drivers? And we really wish it would be that simple, but it's not. I mean, there are budgetary constraints that keep us from being able to do that. We are doing the best we can to keep up with everything. We did get 2 new vehicles, thanks to Nye County RTC.
Okay.
And I want to thank the county commissioners for their approval on that. We have 2 2017 Dodge Grand Caravans, beautiful vehicles, and they are working out just tremendously for us.
Now, I always have to ask, because I know people, they judge our county commissioners on how they respond to the needs of the community. In your assessment, without putting you on the spot, how would you assess the response from our county commissioners?
I think when they realized that the need was there, they acted swiftly and got this taken care of immediately. I mean, like I said, I thank them very much for what they've done.
I know that's what they wanted to hear, and that's really what I wanted to hear.
Right, and I would concur with that for sure. Like, once the education happened and they realized, oh, the need really is there, we've gotten really, really good support from them.
And I think the main thing, when you talk about once they understood it, it's up to us, the Transportation Committee, to let them know what the needs are.
Yes.
And once we were able to explain what the needs were, they were like gangbusters and said that we're here to support you.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned earlier, Eric, on why not hire more drivers and all the other things, and you said there's more to it than that. So what do you mean by more to it than that?
Well, we are funded in part by NDOT and by ADSD, which is the Division of Aging.
Okay.
And it basically boils down to, for every dollar we have, they match $2.
Okay.
So if we have $100, if we get $300, we have to come up with $100 of it.
Okay.
Basically 1/3. The more local support we have, the more money we can request. Therefore, I can hire additional drivers. I mean, somebody's got to pay the drivers and pay the fuel and everything else.
So how do we, because we haven't gone out and asked for additional monies. So how do we get additional monies, and who can provide this? We don't want just say use taxpayer money. So what do we do?
Well, there was some discussion with the county commissioners, about different taxes being applied that would help subsidize that. But local businesses could help a lot, even if it's just a small commitment amount. even if it's $100 a year. You know, if we can
Okay.
get 20 businesses doing that, that's $2,000 more that we have. That's paychecks for another driver that'll help, you know, keep
So
this rolling.
let's talk to the businesses and people who have impacts with the businesses. The people riding the buses are going to different businesses.
Yes.
And to get there, that's helping the business. So for the business to also, I guess it would also be tax deductible for the business to contribute something
Yes.
to the transportation.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's a fantastic way of helping the overall community.
Yeah, and a lot of these businesses now that we've really broken into the realm of public transportation, I would say a fourth of our client list are for employment purposes.
Okay.
I mean, we're picking up people to take them to and from work. And that's a trickle-down effect. You can see how it just, you know, we're getting them to work. They've got the job. They're spending money. They're going to the local businesses. It keeps us going. It keeps the entire economy.
That's a wonderful economic circle.
Yes.
And the only way to make it work is for everybody to pitch in.
Yes.
So businesses, please listen to this. Contact Eric
Yes.
or Sally and say, look, I'd like to be a partner in this, as we need partners to make all of this work.
Yeah, we can do advertising on the buses or inside the buses, such as brochures or menus, what have you. You know, and that contribution goes straight in to our local match.
I think we're going to have to talk more in the next session about how you wrap the bus, or how you put something about a business in the bus so people will know exactly what's going on,
Yeah.
and who's making all the contributions to make this work. So
Yeah.
I think that'd be a big benefit right there. So we can talk about that during the next session.
Okay.
Okay. Anything very quickly before this session ends?
Sally?
I really would like to cover more of that in the next session, because I think it's really important how valuable the community can be. And
Okay.
how the Transportation Committee can take on that role, and have taken on that role, to try and help garner that support. And I think there are some creative ways that we can do that.
Okay. So we're going to talk about that during the next session. I want you to come back. Be sure to be ready to take the phone numbers and ask all the questions you want. See you in the next session.